Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Hi, Adam.
Hey, a couple things. Regarding Harrison Butker, you talked a little bit earlier in the offseason or in camp how he's increased his range this year. Is his thinking back to the time he got to the Chiefs? Is his increased range? Is that typical for a guy who's been in the league now as long as he has, or is he extraordinary in that regard? And also, I know it's Andy's decision, but how comfortable would you have been on that final kick? How far would you have been comfortable with on that kick? I mean, the way he was hitting it. I mean, if you guys had gotten another penalty, would you have been okay? Would you have been comfortable kicking that ball?
That day, I would have been comfortable kicking another one because he was so on point that day. He was hitting the ball so well, in pregame, and then at halftime, he hit another one, and we just really felt comfortable with him the way he was hitting the ball. And it's kind of like when you're playing golf and you're hitting the driver well, you hit the driver well all day, and he was like that. He was in that mode. So even if there was another penalty, I think we probably, we would have had a discussion. I'm sure we would have talked about it, and I would have been all for it for sure. As far as his leg strength, he's kind of different than other kickers because he works. I mean, I can't explain how hard this guy works. I mean, he is such a dedicated guy, and he comes in here, and after our meetings in the morning, he'll spend 2 or 3 hours in here just watching tape. He watches every other kicker that kicked, every kick that happened that week. He studies the field that we're going to be kicking on. He knows the science of the game. He studies it so well, and then he works so hard on the field. His off season this year, he worked so hard. He got so much stronger. It was noticeable right away. As soon as he started kicking, you could see the ball exploding off his leg, and he's hitting the ball pure this year. And we just got to hope it keeps on going like that.
Let's go next to Herbie. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, as a special teams guru, a lot of people tend to watch these football games and don't really pay attention to the battle within the battle. But as a guy who appreciates special teams play, how special is this Harrison Butker and Justin Tucker matchup, so to speak?
Yeah, we're seeing two of the best kickers, probably, for sure in the history of the game. I mean, going against each other this weekend. They both admire each other's games. I know that. I know Butker watches Tucker a lot, and studies him and wants to be like him. I know that. And, and it's going to be a lot of fun. That this game is going to be a lot of fun. I told Butker, I said, I don't want to see some kind of a competition in pregame to see who's going to bang it the farthest. I just want him to go out there and stick to his routine, but they're both competitive guys, and this game, it just brings out the best in both of them.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Dave. The injury note on Dorian O'Daniels knew he won't go today because of a knee. If that becomes a thing where he can't play, he is one of the special teams snap leaders. Just how does that impact what you guys do?
It impacts us huge. Obviously, we'd have to make some adjustments. He's a 4-phase starter, plays on every phase pretty much. And, there would be something that we would have to address. But the good thing is that we have a lot of guys. Veach has done a great job with the roster. We've got guys in the wings. We got guys that are backups that could come in and play. And I feel comfortable whichever way we go.
Let's go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
Coach, I talked last year with Harrison just kind of about how different things are, how much time he gets and how much kind of like, live simulation he gets here versus what he had at college. At college, he was known as a big leg guy, but maybe not accurate. And the numbers kind of back it up. And he was detailing all the different things, how much better it is to kick here the balls and, actually getting live fire reps and, like how coach and you make that a part of it. I'm curious, how hard is it to find the prospects, right? He's one of the best kickers. He didn't get drafted. Looking back, somebody would, what he is would use a second or third rounder on a guy if they knew he was going to be what he is right now. How hard is it to find those guys in college?
Well, he went to the combine and we evaluated him and we had him ranked as the number one. I thought he had a draftable grade. I thought he was a guy that could possibly be drafted 5th through 7th round. He was our number one rated guy, and we were really, really lucky to get him. I said that before. But he's just a special guy. You never really know exactly, what you got, what's going on in his head, but he is such a hard worker, and I think that's the number one thing that it's impressive to see him have such success because he works so hard at it.
We've got 2 questions left. Let's go Sam and then Robert. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Dave. Wanted to ask you about Willie Gay's blocked punt. Can you kind of take us through that play, starting with maybe his assignment and going all the way through his execution of it?
Yeah, his job out there on that left end spot is to rush the slot first, make sure it's not a fake, and then rush the punter. The slot tried to cut him, so he knew he wasn't going to go out for a pass, so he turned it into a rush immediately. And when he rushed, he did a nice job of getting his hand on the ball. Now, he didn't block it. It was more of a deflection. The ball goes past the line of scrimmage. It's a deflected punt. It's still a live punt. I wish he would have got a little more of the ball and it would have stayed on the other side. It would have been considered a block, but the effort was great. He caused a bad punt. They had a bad net on the play, and it's definitely a positive play. It's good for him. He keeps getting better and better each week. Every week, every practice, he gets better and better.
Let's go to Robert with the last one. Go ahead, Robert.
Hey, Coach. So Harrison Butker, when he talked about the Chargers trying to ice him, with the timeouts and then some of the penalties that went on, he just said he got madder and madder as he had to keep doing attempts, and that his last attempt was his best one. Just as a special teams coach, what's your philosophy about icing the kicker? Do you think it works? Do you think it doesn't work? And stuff like that.
I think if you're gonna ice the kicker, I think you need to ice them and not let them kick the kick. Because when they were still able to kick the kick, you call a timeout late and they're able to kick the kick, they get too much information. So if we're gonna ice a guy, we're gonna ice it before he even lines up to make him think about it a little bit more without getting that information that Butker was able to get on that long kick. So that's one thing that we would do different. But other than that, he's when you ice Butker, he's just going to get more and more focused. He's a routine guy. He's going to go back to his routine and do the same thing every time.